Oh, yeah. You gotta feel it. You gotta feel it. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor. Here to bring you that boom bap breakfast. But not just me, I gotta say us. And the crew is here to come through and do what they do. In case you didn't know, it's time for the Remix Morning Show. Let's start it off with the one them call Kamal K. Franklin. And Renee Johnston. We gonna stop right there until Kim get her shit together. What's good?
We good.
Welcome out, Renee Johnston.
Morning.
Hey,
Kamal told me to set my alarm.
It's Johnston, right?
It is Johnston with a T.
Okay. I thought so.
With a T.
That it is.
My screen blurry? God damn.
Your screen is blurry. You are.
Yeah. Mine is great.
All right, y'all talk for a second. Let me hear.
Mine is showing all that.
Oh, Lord. How was your birthday, Kamal?
It was cool. I was with my kids and my father-in-law, my brother-in-law, and my sister-in-law. We share a birthday, me and my brother-in-law. Shout out to Mike. Michael, we share a birthday. So we had dinner at apparently my cuisine of choice these days, which is the Vietnamese food. Although I'm always I feel a little something because I'm basically eating the food from the folks who were the descendants of the ones who kind of sold out and ran from Vietnam. You know what I mean? They had to be the descendants of not the communists, you know.
Yeah, that's right. If it's here.
Yeah. So I do feel a little, not that they care, of course. You know,
did I come back and hear you say you the descendants of people who sold out?
First of all, I think you're having audio problems.
Okay.
Problems and stuff.
All right,
that's what you're having. Yeah.
Am I blurry still?
No, you're good now.
All right, cool.
A little pixelated, but that could be a natural complexion.
Oh, shots fired.
I would say that I like Vietnamese food. And for my birthday, I went to a Vietnamese restaurant. I was taken out. But one of my small little issues is that I'm the people who came from Vietnam who've settled here are mostly the Catholics who were anti the revolution. So I feel a little certain way about that, you know.
So what was you eating? Pho?
I love pho or pho. Because it sounds like, I'm a big chicken pho man. If you want to get to me, or that's just invite me to some Vietnamese food, sit me down with some chicken pho, and I'll tell you everything.
Ain't it just ramen noodles? I mean,
basically. I don't think you're wrong.
I'll pay all that money for some 99. Wait, was it even 50-cent ramen noodles? And just because they put a PHO in front of it, it costs more. I don't understand.
I mean,
what world am I living in?
I don't think you're completely wrong. However, also you are now razzing on an ancient cuisine of a people who've been around in the culture.
Oh shit! I done talked about Oriental food. Big up to my man.
Oriental food.
Big up to big up to Dr. Jared Ball.
So backwards.
I'm not gonna go down that wormhole again today. I messed up yesterday.
Lord.
Oh, okay. We learned something. It's rice noodles. Okay.
Is it rice noodles?
Ramen rice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
rice.
you.
It's rice. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
How
All
are you
right.
doing? How are you guys doing? So yeah, that's how I spent my birthday. It was just with fam. I got some,
You got
uh,
cards?
cards. Good birthday cards. I didn't get nothing
Wow,
else.
you still get cards?
That's
Damn.
all I get is cards.
You don't get cards, Air Doc? Well,
All you get is
actually, I
cards.
guess you got a text message sending you to the supermarket.
For Father's Day, right? Yo, so I did go and have Father's Day dinner. They did prepare. My son hooked up the food. He hooked up all types of stuff, and yeah, they didn't. I tried to help in the kitchen, and they said no. Sit down, take a nap, do what you need to. Let you know, because when I get in the kitchen, I gotta do something. And it's
Did your son do a lot? Because he's the one you're trying to guide into
yeah,
going
culinary
the
school. Yeah,
culinary.
He cooked everything. He
All
cooked everything.
right.
And my daughter helped prep, and yeah.
Are your
So it was-
kids also vegan, Air Doc?
No. They one day after COVID, I was having them half the week stay with me, and then after COVID came, I just said go stay with your mom, because I'm inside and outside. so
Officially, you say you've never gotten COVID, right?
nah, I never got COVID.
Wow.
So yeah, I was outside. So then one day they just was like, so Dad, can we try beef? I was like, beef? I was like, okay. So then they tried beef, and then next thing you know, my son tried pork, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
And he
damn.
fell in love with that sweet, salty taste of pork. Hey, they know what they eating. I told them. I mean, man, somebody is known for not
Hard
eating
to
pork.
deny
Kim
that pork
Brown.
does taste good. Pork does taste good. Yeah.
Kim, you eat pork?
Pork does taste good. It's hard to deny.
I have not eaten a mammal in 25 years. So
it's been 25 years. What about so fish? You do the fish.
I do fish and seafood.
Why do they deserve to die? Why is it okay to kill a fish?
I don't know. I just don't feel guilty about it. So
Right.
I don't really have an answer. I literally witnessed a mammal being,
gutted,
and I listened to the mama cry the whole night for the baby. And after that, I was like, oh, no, this ain't for me. That was the last time I ever ate a mammal.
Fish don't cry. You can't even see it if
you can't tell. Well, you can't.
Yeah,
tell.
you can't
feel some pain when they getting.
And I used to watch my grandmother with the chicken, so I know, like, it's not like I've seen it and it never. It probably should bother me, but it didn't. And
not even when you see the fish on the little hook and they like squiggling around on the hook.
No.
She goes to the market. Kim, what about you? Good morning, Kim.
Good morning.
How are
Good
you?
morning, Renee.
Good morning, Kim.
How are you? I wish I had the discipline. Renee has all the discipline. I have no discipline. I eat pork. I eat beef. I eat goat. I eat crab. I eat fish, shrimp. Run it. Run it all.
You all about seafood. You see food, you eating it.
Okay. I mean,
and have you seen the videos of the cows being slaughtered and that does no effect on you, no impact? You don't care? Don't give a fuck? 2 cents?
Again, y'all, human survival and evolution has depended upon us consuming animal protein. I mean, we had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Had to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We might have to again, sir. We might be dealing with nuclear fallout fucking everywhere. We might have. Listen. You know, and then I think about the places that, eat mammals that we don't eat. You know what I'm saying? Like mammals that we consider pets. And it's like, now I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know why y'all don't eat dogs.
You would if you had to, if you got hungry enough.
Yeah.
That is true.
Cat meat.
Being picky about food is a first world issue.
Ooh, child.
Yeah.
It kind of is. But
and we bougie. You know what I liked about what you said at the convention, Kamal? You said this is not a place for bougie Negroes. You remember saying that? It's like this is a place for organizing. Y'all want to have fine dining, 5-star. No, we came here to organize. This ain't for bougie Negroes. I was like, I like that. Just giving you props.
No, I appreciate that. I mean, you can keep on going. I mean, there's a lot of things I said that most people did like. So
I wasn't really listening.
You know, I thought you were just opening it up to more commentary about.
I was going to let them, you know. I know how to pass the blunt. So if anybody else got something to say. No, okay.
About what? What? I mean, it's because it's Kamal's birthday week. It's praise Kamal.
It isn't. Shouldn't I?
You're looking ever so slightly more melanated this morning. Still glowing.
Damn.
Looking a couple shades.
Did somebody introduce me on stage? They said like in all his light skinnedness or some shit.
Man,
said that. What's the name? Shahidi said that.
Sure did.
Can't we always get along?
Cracks me up with her. Let's go, friend. She's so
very southern, very Atlanta. She's very Atlanta.
All right, friend. She's so cute.
Renee, did you have to deal with colorism as a youngster?
Listen, the whole thing. Oh. I still every now and again will get the "you pretty for brown." Oh yeah, that still happens.
Still hit you with that. Still
2025. Yeah. Because people still don't see it as a backwards compliment. Like it's just it's wild.
Sheesh.
But it was rough. Like I'm tall. I was skinny. It took until I decided to stop doing stuff to my hair for it to grow. So me having the long hair now is literally because the locks. I don't do nothing to it, and the whole thing. It was a mess. I had glasses. Like it was a rough. It was rough.
Me too, Renee. I'm comparing plights. I was undersized. You know, but the teeth were out there.
You had braces?
It was like a fro-ish thing.
Did you have orthodontic work come out? Did you have braces?
18, the perfect years to get them.
To get
18 through 21.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
exactly. Thank you.
Sorry.
The beard wasn't fully grown, so it was like the
pieces.
Tops.
You look like Anthony Hamilton.
Yeah, so it was like that. It was like, and I had no idea about cutting, so I just let it grow like a wolf. Yeah, there was some, not some. You know.
I would love to see pictures from that era of Kamal.
I'm gonna find at least one or two. I have one or two where it's just like I think I weighed $105.
I believe it. Wow. I believe it. Because you like $125 now. So
no, and I'm a solid $170 full of like
what? That's crazy. You're tall. I'm $105 because you're not short. That's
I was no more than $100 in high school. I was like $105, $110.
Tossable.
Wow.
Spinnable.
I'm at 170 now too. That's good. Hey, another question, Renee, since you're here and you're not here often. When did you start for real? When did you start growing your locks? What made you be like, okay, let me start growing my locks? Was it college, high school?
It was actually literally my hair. I had some serious hair damage, and so I cut it all off. Mm-hmm. And had like the real short, like barbershop cut. Okay. And then a friend of mine was like, you should just lock your hair. And I was like, you know what, I should. And so but it's been 20 years.
Whoa.
Oh,
20 years, I think. Yeah, 20 years.
And if anybody hasn't seen the beautiful Renee, because of course she has a camera on, her locks are long and luxurious.
They are long.
Gorgeous locks.
As you can see in her silhouette.
Yes, you can see her silhouette. Renee is a gorgeous 5'9", 5'11".
I'm almost 5'11".
No. Damn, she got me by I'm 5'10".
We're the same height then. We're the same height, me and Renee.
we just about the same height.
Like where are the medium heighted women on this platform? Because you have like me and Jackie, like the runts, you know what I'm saying? And then you got Renee, Ricky.
I feel like Dr. CBS is not short. but I
Yeah,
don't.
CBS.
I'm skewed because I'm so tall. But when I met her in person, she didn't feel like, oh, you real tiny. She did not feel super short to me.
Who
So
was
I
that?
feel like
Sheree.
CBS.
Oh
CBS.
no, CBS was tall.
And
CBS was
Layla.
like a
Both of
5'7",
them.
5'8" tall.
Okay, so there you go. So I'm not wrong.
But what is a woman's
And
not what is
Amber's tall. Well, Amber's tall, so I guess that
Amber is
that's
tall.
not
Amber
medium
is
size.
tall.
Yeah, Amber's tall.
what about Erica Brown?
Oh, Sister Erica, I think is a average height.
Yeah,
Like
she's in the middle. Yeah.
about 5. How tall are you, Erica? 5'7"? Is she in here?
No,
I don't know.
5'6", 5'7"?
And now
she's at the gym.
The gym is a problematic place. The gym is a problematic place. There's a lot of problematic takes at the gym.
She's stressed out at her gym, man. Her gym be giving her stress. She's always talking about it on the show.
Cause she be at the gym in like midday, the people that don't like have, jobby jobs, you know what I'm saying? Those are the not you, Sister Erica. You're not a kept woman per se. You know what I'm saying?
Is she a kept woman? I thought she was. She got a real job.
I mean, she teaches and pursuing her doctorate.
She's the female Tommy. Stop. Stop. Yo, what y'all? Ain't nobody supposed to be working today. It's Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth.
Oh my gosh, it is Juneteenth.
It is. The problem with Juneteenth is most Black people are still working today. So,
oh, man. Hey, that was the whole problem with the whole holiday. Because I said Black people are not going to get this day off. We are the ones that work in service industry and the security.
Right. And do you remember when they first started this, that Amazon gave its workers T-shirts to wear?
Oh, shit.
While they were working on Juneteenth.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Team Juneteenth. Get your ass back in the house.
Put it under your vest, guys. Put it under your vest.
That's right. But that's why my hashtag says no one asked for it.
Thank you.
Who
I agree with that too. It just kind of hit me by surprise. One day it was like this little known in the cut. You just would go to things as they came up, what political people would do it. Next thing I know, it was a fucking national holiday. And I was like, what, who, when, how, whatever.
Yeah. They had to do something to respond to the protest.
Are people?
So we got ice cream and a holiday.
Are people getting holiday pay today? Is it time and a half today for people that had to go to work?
Do people
that's a really good question. Keontae said they're at work. Keontae, do you get time and a half or something for being there today? I'm curious.
I mean, I don't know. Is it more? First of all, I don't think Black people were insulted at all that Juneteenth was not a federal holiday. But now that it is a federal holiday and you have to go to work on Juneteenth, on your so-called day of liberation, isn't that more insulting than having not designated the day in the first place? Like,
I agree. Yeah. And then on top of that, like that they don't teach history, so nobody understands that slavery was still a thing after Juneteenth.
That's some shit. Yo, it's just like we just need y'all to come on this planet and work. Fuck your history, fuck all that. Your dreams.
Yeah. Just supply capitalism and shut up.
That's it.
And Leah's right. I'm surprised. Like, I'm sure Trump, no one has just whispered in his ear yet to do an executive order saying that Juneteenth is no longer a national holiday.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but would he do that though? Because I feel like
why wouldn't he?
I feel like he likes to pretend like he's a man for the Blacks.
Only in certain ways.
The blacks love me, so I feel like
but only in certain ways, not in those kind of ways. Like he'll release, like if some rapper gets in his ear and says something to him, like if a famous Black says something. Hence the Hoover pardon, then he'll do something. But other than like for the everyday regular Blacks, once the white supremacists start saying, why is this? Why do we have a special day for Black people or a special month? Once that gets in his ear, he's about to do an executive order that's like Juneteenth is no longer. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to get to some news and stuff like that. If y'all want to. I mean. It's Juneteenth.
Did I see a new map slap? Did I see that the other day? Did I catch that?
Oh, well, no, we got the same. We got this, same one we had for a while. I guess you don't watch the show too much.
I catch it late. I usually jump on, honestly, after I drop the dog off in the mornings. So it's like 9 o'clock.
So you
normally.
missed the intro for the news. Got you.
Oh, wait a minute. What kind of bougie life is this? You got to drop the dog off?
Where does the dog go?
3 days
Whoa.
a week, the dog goes to doggy daycare, so the dog can run off his madness, because the dog is a rescue, and if the dog is not allowed to go run off the madness, he's like jumping on furniture and cuckoo.
What kind of dog is this?
He is a pit bull mix.
Mhm.
So yeah.
How old?
He'll be 5 next month.
Oh, he still got puppy energy. Well, not puppy, young dog energy.
Young dog energy. Yeah,
sturdy, ready.
But we learned he's got to be able to go run somewhere. So
it's like I was trying to tell Air Doctor, he didn't believe me when he was dog sitting his children's pit bull, and the dog ate his wall, ate his drywall, ate the insulation.
Oh, he literally ate part of the doorway in the front. Yeah. It's like, it's for real. And he doesn't chew things too much anymore. Like it's not crazy like that. But we found somebody who had dogs like all day in their backyard and they were a nice couple. And they charged us a decent rate. And then when they finally saved up enough to rent a space, we grandfathered in we're keeping the dog at our house cost. And so he's going to keep going there until they shut down.
I wonder what dogs would be doing if we didn't enslave them. But go ahead, Kim.
What's the dog's name?
Bolo.
What do you mean, from the Kung Fu flick Bolo?
Yep.
Oh
Yep. That was my stepdaughter.
All right, we're gonna take a break.
Dog, I can tell you exactly what dogs would be doing. I can tell you exactly what dogs would be doing. You go up to Philadelphia. What's the park, everybody? Fairmount Park. They got it's known. I mean, packs of wild dogs or abandoned dogs. I mean, I call them wild. They're probably wild now. But people dump their dogs, and the dogs end up packing. Getting in packs. It used to be an issue in Baltimore back in the day. I don't know if the wild dogs still roam the streets at 3 a.m, but I used to see him when I'd be going there to buy weed. But
wow,
dogs just look so sad. Like, damn, I got to be around humans. I don't get to be around my cousins. Nobody. I mean, think about it. The motherfuckers got to be around humans. They're like captive in this human society where they got to drink water from a fountain instead of drinking the dirty rainwater that is get all its nutrients from. I mean, it's crazy. You don't think about that, do you? No, because exactly, because you're enslaved.
I will also say the dog.
I don't have a dog.
The dog was not my idea, and it's like this really long, crazy story that I will share with Kim, because Kim's a dog person and would understand.
I already know the offspring was like, "Mommy, can I?" Something along that line.
In part.
And then the husband was probably like, "Well, I think we could."
No. It's way crazier than that. When Kim and I get together and I tell her the story and she falls off of her chair laughing because it is that type of story, then then she'll know.
Well, good. I love dog stories.
Yeah,
here for it.
All right.
All the radical revolutionary dogs out there, radical revolutionary cats. You know what I'm saying? Pet parents. We see y'all.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and take a break, and I got a little segment here, so let's get to it right here. I do things sometimes. I work.
Okay.
This is the Remix Morning Show. In case you didn't know, let's take a quick break and come right back with the flow. Oh. All right. Welcome out. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com. Become a member over there. Get footage that's rare. And yes, where can you go to donate since we are demonetized as a channel? blkliberationmedia.org. Go there and donate and go ahead and get your swag. Get some fly gear, and that helps to support and make this thing keep going. You know what I'm saying? All right. So boom. Y'all seen it at the top of the on the thumbnail. Y'all got to see what we do as a people, which is called line dancing. And also, a lot of these titles I named the show after are songs, like Boots on the Ground, in case you didn't know. Now you do. So the thing about line dancing is something that's going back all the way when we're talking about to Africa and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing this for a minute. And then it doesn't come just from the cowboys and stuff like that. Like if you even look at it right here, you can see how we've been doing it right here. This is the thing that we've been kicking. Get in the line and everybody does the same movements. That is what we perceive as line dancing. You hear the wobble, you hear the cha-cha slide. Everybody gets together and we do our thing. Now this thing has been going on for a minute, actually.
Uncovering the deep
from
secrets,
the Maasai,
true
all the way
origins
to
and significance of the
Dutch.
top 5
those are
unique
double Dutch
African
moves
dances
right
that will blow
double
your
Dutch
mind.
moves going
African
into
dances are not
the real
just mere
double Dutch, as
performances,
we show you in this
but they
last
hold
scene
secrets,
right here.
significant cultural and social meaning for the communities they originate from.
Like griots
Each African
way,
dance tells a story and carries the secrets,
twerking,
history, and traditions of the tribe or people who perform.
You know what I'm saying? So nothing's new when it comes to line dancing. You can even see it with the Native Americans. Native Americans used it for bringing forth agriculture, bringing forth war. It's been going on for a while now. And now we just do it for fun, excitement, entertainment, a distraction from this crazy world. So big up to all the people out there with their fans. You know what I'm saying? Doing their boots on the ground. Hopefully we can put that energy towards more organizing. That said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
Damn, I'm so explicit, but I can't help it, my flow ridiculous. Boy, got a gift like it gotta be Christmas.
All right.
Excellent.
I likes.
You know, little
have you watched that actual video with the they go through and say like these are the 5?
Oh yeah. I didn't want to go that deep into it with the English accent and everything. I was like, all right, I'll just talk over them. That'll work. So yeah, and I would say it's very big right now, from ballroom dancing, Detroit ballroom dancing, all that stuff, man. And we make it happen. We make it do what it do, baby. All right, that's enough for me. I will get off the screen so Renee can see the introduction into the news.
Now, you guys are both from the borough of Brooklyn. What part of Brooklyn are you from, Renee?
So I grew up younger in East Flatbush, like Church Avenue, and then we moved deeper into Flatbush actually when I was like 9, and then that's where my mother stayed until I like moved to Virginia. She was there for a long time, and then she bounced.
Okay, I was just curious. Just wonder if you saw Kamal around the way anytime.
No, I don't. Me and Kamal were on different sides of. Kamal's also a little bit older than me, a little bit. Just a little bit.
Only a few years, yeah. I might babysat.
So we were not in the same generational.
Okay, calm it down.
Oh,
Thing.
No, I'm just divide.
I was just joking. But I mean, yeah, we weren't like, by the time I was, ripping and roaring, Kamal was gone at college.
Probably
I was out here raising these kids by that point.
Yeah.
So,
anyway. Some were mine, some were not mine. You never know.
That's right. That's right. All right, y'all. Well, let's go on and step into this news. Woo. Peace. Good morning. Welcome. Greetings and blessings, everybody. It's the Remix Morning Show, the Thursday edition. Today on this 19th of June, 2025. Good morning. We got a nice full slate for you today. We got Kamal K. Franklin, the artist, formerly known as Renee Johnston. I'm not sure what. Yes, Renee. Saturday, we got Saturdays with Renee with us on a Thursday. My name is Kim Brown. Shout out to the remixers. Thank you guys for joining us. Can I send a quick happy birthday, heavenly birthday shout out to my granny? Today is my granny's birthday. Granny would have been 119 on today. So big up, big up, Granny. sturdy woman. My grandmother was a tall lady. That's why I was very disappointed. That's why you should not underage drink. I feel like I stunted my growth by started drinking too young. I started drinking too young, and I didn't grow. All the women on my father's side are 5'9" and above, except for me, the little runt.
Because you were 5'1", 5'1",
2.5, but
2.5.
5'2.5". Yes.
Are you really 5'2"?
Yeah, she's a small person.
It's so sad. It's so unfortunate. It's such a people infantilize short women. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get talked to like a child, and I do not like that.
Maybe it's because you're so fresh and baby faced. Also,
is that what it is, Renee?
Yeah.
The correct term is little person.
Thank you so much.
I can't.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, Kim.
Thanks.
I'm like, I don't know if that's really the term for Kim, but okay.
Right. I'm a normal size. I'm in the normal range of
Are
height.
you?
I am.
You're below average height.
Yes, I am below average height, but I'm a normal size for an adult woman, I think. Listen, we're not going to debate this.
Yeah, let's not debate this.
You know what I'm saying? I used to play sports. I used to play volleyball, nigga. I could jump, hit, all kinds of stuff. So I played bigger. I played bigger than my height.
There you go.
I can see that.
Yeah, buddy. So anyway, what's up, chatters, remixers? Appreciate y'all being here. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Y'all, where would you like to start first? Because I got to say, I understand that, you know, people unfortunately are being unalived at rates that, you know, nobody wants to see in Iran, continuing on in Palestine. But there's something about the missiles flying over Tel Aviv, baby, that I'm like, can you show me more pictures of that? Can I see that? Can I see just a little bit more of that? Can I see stuff going?
And it had some serious hits, like, you know, like the way the media would portray it, this Iron Dome system was impenetrable, right? So
yeah, and it's apparently not.
Apparently not. Apparently they can get hit too. You know, obviously not at the rates and the severity, but they can also get hit.
But I think it is severe, though. I really do think it is severe, and I think that us being in this walled garden or prison, however you want to frame it, in the West, but especially in the U.S., the fact that there is this much censorship about the damage that Israel is suffering, I'm like, they must be getting really fucked up, because they're not willing to tell anything that got blew up, and apparently all kinds of shit has been blown up.
Yeah, and all of the journalism out of that area has been silenced. There is no, they're not allowing anything to come out. So that's, yeah.
And it's been reported again. I have to say been reported because there's a mind fuck going here for me, having been trained in journalism in the West. The verification processes that we have been, you know, indoctrinated into. It's like, well, I'm trying to figure out how many sources can I verify this through, but it's like, y'all, I got to rethink the way I even think that, because you're maybe not going to be able to verify everything. It doesn't make all things coming out untrue, right? So one report I heard is that the Israelis are apparently going to they are encouraging their citizens to stop posting videos of these missile strikes, allegedly because it helps the enemy, right? Or it's being used as propaganda by the Iranians about how successful these missile campaigns are. And apparently they are very successful. So I believe it's been confirmed through other sources that an oil refinery has been destroyed in Haifa, but this is the oil refinery that refines jet fuel, right? I said, oh my God, that's so smart. I said, that's a very smart strategic target. They also, allegedly, the Iranians have blown up the Mossad headquarters. They've blown up the headquarters of the secret Israeli unit, or the one that does all the fuckery not, I guess they all do fuckery, but the 8200 unit, is that what it's called? The group that organized the Hezbollah pager attacks. They are blowing shit up. Like, Iran is out here fucking these niggas up. And the Iron Dome, to everybody's point, the missile attack strategy that the Iranians are apparently using is that they're sending over these their older ballistic missiles to draw the attention of the Iron Dome interceptor missiles. And then then the Yappa comes, the hypersonic shit that don't nobody got except Iran in its proxies. The United States does not have this missile technology. The West does not have hypersonic missiles, and they are fucking these niggas up. And Netanyahu is not letting them leave, which is wild to think about. It's like, wow, y'all are the real hostages. Look at y'all. You want to get the hostages back? Nigga, y'all are the hostages now. Sheesh.
And he left, which is the part of it that, like,
I know, that's the hilarious thing.
That's the part of it that I'm like, bruh.
He's like, day one. He's like,
he was like, I'm out. Peace.
Yeah. Can we do this command post over here?
Y'all stay.
Yeah.
Now yous can't leave. Y'all stay.
None of yous can leave. And apparently, the U.S. ambassador to Israel, one Mike Huckabee, we are familiar with this fuckboy, right? He's furious, apparently, that Netanyahu's not letting the Americans leave. I said, Huckabee, aren't you a rapturous nigga? Stand there. Wait. Just chill. Wait for Jesus. Jesus is about to come see you, dog. Just relax. You be all right. And that's what you wanted?
Caitlyn Jenner got out, though. Didn't I see
who got out?
Caitlyn Jenner got out. Didn't I see a clip because they was trapped and couldn't get out for a little while, and then there was like a video like, we're escaping.
If only. That might be worth the whole war. I'm not going to say anymore, but if that
listen, and then listen. So I will admit that I'm one of those weirdos. I don't like death in any format. Like whoever it is, I'm not a person who cheers for death just in general. But I will admit, I saw a reel of like someone like with the violin next to one of the videos. And the words were like, understanding what it was like, what it's been like to live in Palestine all these years. And it was just, and I tried not to laugh because, you shouldn't, like, but it was funny as hell. It's like, sometimes when the chickens come home, you just gotta cackle and just like.
And listen, gang, everybody watching, you cannot look at Western media to figure out what's going on here. Get on, and again, do your own verification process or vet media sources or firsthand reporting sources as you see fit. But you got to get, and you have to have the brown people telling you what's going on right now. You cannot rely on mainstream cable news because they're captured. It's done for. Like they are, the fact that they are minimizing the amount of damage that Israel is enduring. I won't say suffering. They're enduring it. It just tells me, I'm like, they must be getting done up way worse. Way worse. So anyway,
I brought some pictures up. They're of different complexes that have been destroyed, and you can see this isn't like a small a small missile or whatever like that. This has done tremendous damage in different places in Israel. So there's a lot of different buildings that are getting hit. I think a hospital was recently hit. That one, of course, got a lot of coverage because that one is supposed to show us the depravity of the Iranians as the Israelis then threaten to retaliate, as if they can use that word because of the hospital being hit after they literally murdered, at least according to known news sources, upwards of 300 or 400 at a minimum of Iranians. And I think the numbers in Israel who've at least been listed as dead publicly are around 30 or 40. So these are some pictures of some of the destruction that we've seen so far. Again, and I think the part for me that resonates is that I'm not convinced. Of course, I'm still on another side of this where I don't think the damage is equal by any stretch of the imagination because of the ways in which the power of the Israeli Air Force to go directly over Iranian skies and to bomb outright the U.S. weapons that are supplied. But, Iran is a country which, other than Israel, probably has the most powerful military in the so-called Middle East. So they are able and have been able to show that they can strike back. The question becomes whether or not their ability to strike back will be enough, considering the armaments that the other side does have and is employing against Iran.
What about the propaganda? And again, I don't know how true this report is. Now I did hear this in Western media, so who knows? But apparently, Israel is running low on interceptor missiles. That the country will be out of interceptor missiles, and will have to start rationing munitions within the next 10 to 12 days. I said, well, that probably means like 5 days. If y'all said 10. I can't take your number at face value, but I mean, we know that the re-up is right around the corner, right? The U.S. is ready to come through and at least replenish or do something. But now the question remains: number one, is the U.S. the U.S. is involved, but are troops going to be participating in any attack on Iran? There are U.S. aircraft carriers, obviously, in the region, but others are being directed to the region, including one that is scheduled to be decommissioned or retired next year. I think it's the USS Nimitz. It's coming from the South China Sea, headed to, the area. But folks are saying that watch this particular carrier because it's scheduled to be retired. And their concerns are there may be some sort of false flag attack on a U.S. carrier. And that Iran will be blamed, but it's being speculated that this particular ship could be downed or sank, and they're gonna blame Iran. Well, nigga, y'all was gonna take the ship out of commission next year. Like, that's the perfect one to sink. You know what I'm saying? So there's gonna be a lot more fuckery coming out really very soon. And Trump, of course, did y'all see him yesterday?
Being as incoherent as always, but yes.
Well, yes, incoherent normally, yes, but being asked, are you going to wage a nuclear, a strike on the Iran's nuclear side? Hey, I don't know. Nobody knows. No one knows what I'm gonna do. Oh my God, what the fuck is this? Is this the next episode of The Apprentice? We don't know who's getting let go next week. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
the U.S. government in action.
But I also think part of this is when you look at the differential in lives lost is intentional, right? Like, Iran is not trying to just kill off quote unquote civilian populations, because I know that's questionable when we're talking about a place where everybody's in the military. But like I think it's also in part intentional, right? Like, they are actually doing like a precision thing when they send bombs. They're not just trying to blow the entire population off the earth, which I think in part maybe there's a little bit of this that's like strategic. Like, look at what's happening again in another place and look at what the West is supporting versus what international law says is supposed to be happening. Now, I don't know if this plan is a good one, because obviously international law is not saving nobody's life. But I do think there is something to be said for pointing out how like hypocritical this whole thing is, right? Like, how quickly the US will, talk about like, you can't just kill people, but then just support it. Like, it's like the wildest. It is the wildest like contradiction ever when you listen to what the U.S. government says and then watch what the U.S. government does. And I think in these past few years, we have, as a nation, the U.S. has failed immensely at like proving itself to be about like, life and liberty and freedom and all the stuff they love to present themselves to be. So
what do you guys think about the so-called MAGA split amongst Trump?
Oh, I have a video for that too.
I want to see. I love to see MAGA.
Tucker Carlson interviewed Ted Cruz.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was an interesting for me. It was an interesting conversation because it displayed not only the split, but how stupid, in particular, U.S. political leadership is, and will say anything. Tucker Carlson, not somebody who I'm a fan of, but obviously a skilled interviewer, in some ways, and they were going at it, and he was catching Cruz left and right on inconsistencies in their position. And even, Cruz suggested that Iran, not even suggested, stated a talking point of Netanyahu that Iran had sent assassins to kill Trump. And Carlson continually pressed him on what's the evidence of that. And if that's true, wouldn't that be like a worldwide story? And wouldn't that alone be a reason why you would be bombing Iran left and right? And continually ask them for evidence. And you could see Cruz attempting to sidestep the conversation, moving to different areas. So it was, I think, immensely, eye-opening for folks around the split in between. The most straightforward way to say it is that you have folks who are more isolationist on the right. They don't necessarily like that term because they're not afraid to bomb and kill people either. So I just want to be clear about that. But they're more isolationists, as in they don't want to be dragged into quote unquote Middle Eastern wars. And they do use some language which is similar to the left around some of this money spent on military, spent on protecting Israel, could be used for ending homelessness or doing other things in America. Yes, that was an actual quote.
They said that?
So, yeah. So, I think part of the MAGA, and this is the Steve Bannon MAGA and so forth, as we've talked about, is that they're not opposed to capitalism. They're not opposed to U.S. having the biggest military and be able to use force whenever it wants. They don't want any international constraint on that. So they don't want to be a part of these, whether it's a NATO or the UN. They don't want anybody to hem in what they consider to be America's natural white supremacist rights, in my opinion, to bomb anybody in any point if they feel it's in America's interest to do so because America's under a direct attack or so forth. But they also think that capitalism is not performing the way it should be, particularly for white families and or Americans, and that money should be redirected towards that. And that, of course, government spending needs to be put under control, so forth and so on. And I think the classic neocons are still of the belief system that American empire matters for the so-called prosperity of not only the country, but obviously its capitalist interest. So they are willing to, they want to be a part of these coalitions. And the other part that was striking is when Cruz said because he believes in protecting Israel because he was a Christian and the Bible tells him so. And Tucker challenged him on that, asking him to name the part in the Bible that he was referring to, in which Cruz could not. And then Tucker gave a close proximity. And again, even said to him, so you think the Bible, which is mentioning Israel, is talking about the same political entity of Israel now? And so that was a really interesting exchange too. So I'll play a little clip here where it shows them talking about his knowledge on Israel. I mean, his knowledge on Iran. That he asked Ted Cruz directly, like what he knows about Iran, where he wants to bomb.
And I would use moral suasion to try to effectuate.
If you topple, okay, so you topple the regime by whatever means, what happens then? How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah.
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay,
it's not even... You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay, I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the one who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump.
Yes, I do.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We're carrying out military strikes today.
You said that Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here, because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
You just said we were.
I'll leave it at that, because that's basically what the interview is about.
that is the one time I've ever watched Tucker Carlson and been like, oh, because when he said, wait, this is breaking news, I thought to myself, oh, he just so caught him out there.
It was a good job. I will begrudgingly.
Yeah, I mean, he has always been a good interviewer. The problem is he interviews from a side of the line that I can't live on. So,
Well, and he's this privileged heir to the Swanson frozen dinner empire. He's a douchebag, and he's a racist piece of shit, and he's a misogynist, homophobe, transphobe, all the things, Islamophobe. All the things, but when the whites go at each other, I just want to stand back. Just let them fight. Just let them
go. Yeah. Let them do it. So
yeah, but the hope is that it does break their coalition apart, which means less people. It literally could mean less people die because of it.
So
that's the kind of power that the right has right now.
But see, I'm always curious about that, because one of my theories in life about these things is these are things that are done intentionally to present this idea that there are people on the right side of things, right? It's like presenting the good cop, right? Like, we're going to do this thing, and we're going to make it seem like there are people who are trying to get the real story out. And it's really just all part of the propaganda, because they're not really interested in doing anything that's beneficial for any kind of working.
No, I don't think they're interested in doing
nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't. That's my thinking is not that they are interested in the reasons why these splits are happening. I think are real splits in terms of ideological belief systems. It's not like those splits are such that they are leaving the Trump coalition, but they have different viewpoints, and they amass tremendously big audiences to talk about those viewpoints. I don't believe that they're sitting in a room saying, this time you do this and this time you do that, in terms of that level of a conspiracy. So I think these splits are real and should be sort of thought through in terms of if they do mean anything. And it's not like we have any control of it, because we're at such a weak, we as in Black liberatory forces are too busy splitting over things which have no larger impact on moving a Black left and or a Black larger population, which I think is our role. But I think these splits matter, or these conversations can matter in terms of understanding your enemy, knowing what they're up to. But none of it is meant to purposefully do anything good for our people. But they do have their own views around what's good for what they think is good for quote unquote America in the way that they see it, and they will have differing opinions through what lens, what action should be taken and how it should be taken. So I don't think Tucker Carlson is in any way interested in saving Iranian lives because he cares about brown people or he cares about Iran. I think he has a theory that the Trump came in saying that he would not get into these forever wars. And now within 6 months, he's on the precipice of bombing Iran into submission and using U.S. high-tech technology to do so. Again, no ground troops, because no one wants to really go in and invade Iran because it's too big of a nation. But will they bomb it from a distance? Hell yeah, right? So I do think that that's part of the calculus of like we're being, in their estimation, the United States, I should say, is being distracted from the bigger issue, which is China, one, and then two, I think there's a part of their ideological belief system that these forever wars, and they do use Iraq as one way in which the neocons sort of broke with each other, but that these forever wars are damaging the resources that can be used for what they think is bringing back a traditional middle class of white folks in America.
So what do you guys think about the way the manufacturing consent campaign is going this time around? I was thinking and hearkening back to post 9/11 and the campaign, Bush, Cheney, Coley Cole, Condolingus, you know what I'm saying? Everybody being trotted out to I'm sorry, fuck Chappelle, but nigga, Condolingus Rice will
will forever be stuck on the brain.
Never call her Condoleezza again. It is Condolingus Rice, Condolingus. They trotted all them out to try to make the case. Iraq got this, Saddam got that, and the country was attacked on 9/11. So everybody saw, there was no but now it's like no pretense, right? There was no direct attack on America. There was very clear that Jesus, so many eyes. Israel attacked Iran without provocation, and even the right can see that kind of clearly. And you got to figure, like, the class of working class whites in particular post 9/11 who raised their hand to run off and join the military, these people are now middle-aged, right? And most of them were screwed over in some way by the military, by the Veterans Affairs, not being able to have access to mental health care. These veterans going to the VA to shoot themselves in the head in the parking lot. Like, this is a generation now that is peak head sex age, that is JD Vance's age, but the vets that got left behind are looking at this situation and being like, wait a second, like, this is not the kind of thing that I want my kids going out there to fight over, something that didn't directly impact the United States itself. So what does the manufacturing consent campaign look like now? Or are they not even trying to manufacture consent? It's just full steam ahead.
I personally think it's, do you want to go first, Renee? Or?
No, go ahead.
No, I personally think it's full steam ahead, as in, one, I think the cover is already there. Iran has been so vilified by both right-wing and capitalist media for decades. The New York Times, obviously the leading neoliberal capitalist newspaper in the world, where other newspapers get sort of like bleed down and take their stories from. They're calling Israel strikes on Iran part of an existential threat that Israel believes Iran is. And so in some ways justifying the idea that Iran is attempting to develop nuclear weapons, which has been put out there again for 40 or 50 years worth of propaganda, even as Iran, the so-called Israel itself has nuclear weapons. So I think the die is cast. I don't think the public consideration for this is not even that much into play. There's not been any mass marches. Even before the Iraqi war, there were mass marches in the street saying no war. I don't think we're going to get that this time. So I think this is strictly in the hands of the dumbest person in the world, the president of the United States, to decide, based on those who talk in his ear, whether or not they're going to pull the trigger and start bombing Iran. I think, the only thing I think could stop that is if there was some major crescendo of particularly right-wing, more or less isolationist thought that somehow got into his ear, or Middle Eastern countries, which are potentially giving lucrative contracts to Trump and Trump's family, whether or not they say something to stop this. And they're, they have their own calculus around weakening Iran. And they've shown themselves to be quite at ease with having a white nationalist ethno-state be the largest hegemon as long as they get some money from it. So I don't think there's a lot standing in the way of the bombing of Iran by the United States. I think the United States calculus is again more in the hands of who's in the ear of this dumb person who is the titular head of the country, in terms of saying, yeah, go ahead and do that.
Your thoughts, Renee?
So I think, I don't, there's not going to be any manufacturing consent thing, I don't think. But I also think, depending on the situation, that's never been needed, because the U.S. has always been quick to talk about bringing democracy somewhere. And so that's why we have to, send, and we have to do, and we have to, whatever excuse they're using in the moment. I am curious to see, I know there's been some kind of push out of Congress to like do something, whatever, on paper, because paper always works.
I think they actually came from a Republican lawmaker, so Massey from Kentucky.
That sounds right. And I didn't read the full details because it'll be another one of these things where they pretend like they're trying to do something legitimate, and it's all it's all kabuki theater. But like, I can't with these people. But I do think that this whole, the U.S. at any point in time will go and bomb people or send troops or do whatever they do in any place just because the resource is there that they want to steal. And so they'll make whatever up they need to make up. We don't, the U.S., the actual population here, I don't think the majority of people even understand how many military actions are going on all around the world on any given day. And of course that's, it's intentional that it's that way. But, I also, a lot of times when I see these like fights happening in government, I just go back to the good cop, bad cop thing. Like, I just feel like it's all theater to make people think like, oh, there are people who are trying to stop it, and they don't really care. Like, none of these people in the end have any scruples. Like, they're all just doing whatever their biggest donor told them to do. So
it's funny you say that. I saw a clip yesterday. I'm seeing if I could try to put my hands on it. But the COO of Lockheed Martin was interviewed about, how's business going? And he was like, oh, business about to be great. The next 3 to 5 years, the European Union countries are finally getting serious about their defense budgets. And I think we're going to see some increases on defense spending here in the U.S. Next 3 to 5 projections for Lockheed Martin are looking real good. I said, oh, well, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
And
in the end, that's what it's all about. Sorry, Kamal, what'd you say?
Oh, no, I was going to say, I like how they call it defense spending as opposed to, making ammunition to bomb people, to drop on houses, to drop in residential areas, basically to do what they've done to Gaza, to try to do that in other places all around the world. That's the money that's being spent to make basically bombs to murder people. And hey, stocks are fantastic right now. Couldn't be better. About to get a pay raise.
Wild. It's wild.
It would be so cool if some of those people who have all this military training, recon training, blah, 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 they're cutting your VA benefits. So maybe you should do something about that. Maybe you should get some of your buddies and just go visit people and just go say hello.
Okay, just bring up the ear doctor on that note.
Just go say hi.
Did I miss something?
Yeah, don't you worry about it. That was beyond. Don't you? You just do a little break right now.
Oh, you need to use the bathroom. Baby kidneys got you.
All
right. I guess I'll go ahead and do a break. All right. Welcome to the Remix Morning.
Sir, listen, your prostate about to be fucking with you too, homie. Listen.
Hey, I ain't gonna front. I do, certain beers do be having me go to the bathroom all the time. Like, especially them watered down. Somebody gives me a Corona or something like that. Well, blah. Anyway, let's go ahead.
We can distinguish those. Like, people have these beer tasting things. I've been so not into beer that I cannot distinguish at all. I'm one of those people with no taste buds. It all tastes the same.
I feel like people who don't drink and have never drank real beer always think that. If you go to a brewery, you will know the difference in beers.
I feel like me and Jared are the ones to come to when it comes to fine tasting beer. It sounds like Renee got a little knowledge.
Oh, I love me a good brewery.
Okay,
really?
let's talk about it.
Oh, listen.
Like an IPA, a Pilsner. What's it called? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they had, so if you go to a real spot where they actually show you where they brew and where they're like, they have, because they concoct stuff and they'd be like, this one has the chocolate and this one has the cherry and this one.
It's too much.
It's yeah.
Yeah.
But I like that. So
most of my beers have a percentage of 9 point. Most beers are like 4 to 5. Beers I drink are 9.
American beers. I wonder why American beers are so watered down.
Capitalism.
There you go.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I feel the same way though about weed, which again, I know y'all are going to hit me over the head with. I don't know the difference between any, you know what I mean? Like when people now are telling me this one makes you this one makes like, I thought it was just all weed. Is it just weed?
I mean, it used to be. I don't know about the stuff they sell in stores.
It's something about like them New York head shops. I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't know what it was that was kind of making me uncomfortable about it. And then I saw all the weed raids. This was like a year ago that Eric Adams did, and they found all kinds of shit in the weed, and then they threw the weed in the incinerator. I don't know, but I was uncomfortable at the New York weed shop. I'm uncomfortable with the dispensary, period, to be honest. Like, I support your local weed man person.
Yeah, pretty much. But I think the one thing you're trying to figure out is the difference between a sativa and an indigo. One is
indica.
One puts you to sleep, and the other one keeps you lively.
Well, kinda. But indica did not necessarily put you to sleep, but it's a heavier effect on the body. It subdues you more, whereas sativas kind of give you a little bit of. But that's why like my favorite strain of sativa is green crack. Love green crack. This shit is great. It's called green crack, but it tracks though. I've never tried crack, but I would imagine crack gives you wings.
Is Jared still in the chat?
That'll make Jared come up on.
Oh, shots fired.
Because Jared, to my knowledge, has not tried crack, but he has tried all kinds of
yes, he has.
Maybe he can.
No. There's no maybe.
There's no maybe. Yes, he's confessed.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that confession.
Yeah, girl, you missed that confession.
Those are our best shows. We should have a highlight of Jared's drug story.
He's got to write it all down because he be forgetting stuff between like 9 a.m. and 12 p.m. And so he's got to write it all down before he forgets all the stories. But
picture it. Jessup, 1993. JB told us a hell of a story about that experimentation. You should have seen everybody's face, Kamal face, my face. We're like, no way, Professor.
Tell it again.
Well, we all get second chances, y'all. We all get second chances. Thankful for that. So I'm going to take a second chance at this break, and we're going to come back right here on to the Remix Morning Show. So let's do this. It's line dance time, y'all. Bottles up in the club. Big up to everybody tuning in. Hit that like button, please. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. This is Black Liberation Media, where you can go and you can donate. If you're feeling good about what you're seeing, what you're enjoying, be like, you know what? I can't get out in these streets. I can't organize like I want to, but I can help these people that's doing it every day for the people to get it right. So go ahead and donate at blkliberationmedia.org and copy some fresh merch, some gear, some cups, some shirts, so that way you can share what you're watching so other people could get down and see what's going on. Speaking of dope shows on this channel, I was watching Root Work the other day, and they was talking about how you get, false information and stuff, what's real, what's not. So I was like, well, let's see what's real and what's not, and how is it breaking down. So let it forever be broken. Check this out.
We're talking about cultural misinformation. So over the last few years, misinformation, disinformation became like these really big kind of buzzwords. And what was happening is in digital spaces, people were being exposed to a number of different types of false information. So there's misinformation, which is like when somebody is spreading false information, but they don't mean to. Like they don't know that they're spreading false information. Like you might have misheard something, misread something, you tell somebody else, and then they believe it. That's misinformation. But then disinformation is when someone knows that something is false. They know that something is false, and they spread it with a specific purpose of confusing people or persuading people to act in a certain way or manner that they would benefit from. And then there's a third one, which is malinformation, which is spreading what is factual information in a way that is meant to in a way that is meant to trigger someone to act in a specific manner that may or may not be to their benefit.
There you go. Different types of information that's being spread on the social media, on the internet. You never know what. That's why I always say, go do your research. All right. So let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go. All right. Big up to C's Way. Always giving me a call about random stuff that you can figure out on YouTube University, but still, big up.
That's not
Where
a
we
lie.
at?
That's not a lie.
This is just an unnecessary
That
shout.
was
And
just
for
so.
what? For what? You could have kept that to yourself. For what? For what? For
The
what?
best is, let's not talk about how Ear Doctor be calling me like, I mean, it's not random, but it's the same thing.
Exactly. It's not random. Not random.
You the point person. You the point person. Point
Oh,
person.
man.
Yeah, Renee is the point person.
No.
No.
Nakapondas is the point person.
I start my new segment, Nakapondas, next week.
Do you really? I'm with it.
I got something that's been on some things that's been on my mind.
Oh God, no.
What?
You got your intro together with you sitting with your your chin rested on your fist.
Little pipe.
Pensive.
We'll see how it comes.
Is that the thing? What's his name? With Roland Martin wears?
Ascot.
Ascot.
Come on.
Yeah,
oh man,
necessary.
Legs crossed.
I could see it. I can see it.
Oh,
I can see it coming along. I can see it coming along. You know what I mean?
I like that. I like that.
You like that?
That's a good pondering face.
There
Yes.
it is.
There we go.
Nakapondas. Next
I
week.
got to go back and watch that root work. I didn't realize Jess was on there. I know Dr. Jam well. We used to be in an organization together.
Hey.
So,
Okay.
Nice.
Why you decided the organization wasn't for you, or
no? I don't. It's a lot of time. It's a lot. Like I decided to do more local stuff, and that global Pan-African movement org is like, they've got like members joining from like Barbados, and like it's like international. And I was like, y'all are doing a lot, and I can't right now.
yeah, that's why I can't do that with CMB. It's a lot. But all right, I'll catch you on the next one.
Wait a minute. I need to contact Doc.
What up?
I might need to contact. I spoke about weed. I need some weed.
What?
I'll talk to you later, Doc, about it. I want it already rolled too. I want it rolled. Just two. I need two old-fashioned joints, as they used to say. That kind of thing. Yeah, that's all I need. By Friday. Well, today. No, by today. I'll come to your house. I got you. All right. Sorry. Back to the news.
See, that's how I know you wasn't buying weed off the street as a youth.
I know. I was not.
That is. See, that's what not the kids. That's what the aunties would call hot. You being hot right now, dog. Like, come on, you can't be asking the plug for the plug.
Sorry. 5 minutes
everybody.
Ago, wait a minute. 5 minutes ago, before the break, you actually were sending out Manchurian candidates. So I'm not quite sure if you need to be telling me.
Listen, I'm just saying, I want our service people to visit their elected officials. That's it. That's all I want. But anyway, Kamal, check your email. I think I sent you something. Please verify. Anyway, remixers, thank you all so much for joining us. It's the Thursday, Juneteenth edition of the Remix Morning Show. There's a lot of places we could go because R. Kelly overdose, Tyler Perry being sued for sexual harassment. But I mean, there's more consequential news, of course. And the Diddy trial is still going on. God damn, this is how crazy the news cycle is. I didn't forgot that Diddy was still. I forgot. I saw the update. I'm like, that's right. That's still going on. Whoa.
The only reason I caught that is because I guess there was somebody whose name Diddy was trying to like get in the record or something, and they didn't allow it. And so now there's all this speculation about who it was.
Allegedly,
allegedly,
Young Yeezy, that nigga. Woo! I cannot even with Kanye, and we are not going to, because if we did want to touch on a little bit of the so-called entertainment news, because the R. Kelly thing, I'm a little betwixt and between about, and I don't fully have the clear story about what actually happened to R. Kelly. So you guys know R. Kelly is serving a lot of time for sex trafficking and other abhorrent crimes against young women and girls. And he claims that people are actively trying to kill him in jail. And he was rushed to a hospital, I believe in Duke Hospital. Is he locked up in North Carolina, chat? Help me out with that. But he got rushed to the hospital for, one report said an overdose. Another one said he was experiencing, medical distress. He had blood clots, but apparently, I don't know if he was denied or refused treatment, and they took his ass back to jail. So he health-wise, he's not doing well. Let me speak for myself here. We do not wish him well. But it's notable, I suppose, if we want to pay attention to the conditions of how people are being treated in jail. But I lack empathy for R. Kelly for obvious reasons. So anyway, just throwing that out there.
I'm with you on that one. I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
And I have the stories pulled up. Yeah.
Sure. If he dies, he dies. But I'm sorry. Who ain't shit? But he ain't shit. Fuck him. Anyway. So all right. So as we continue to talk about, U.S. military hegemonic dominance abroad and trying to impose its will again on yet another country far away, well, the U.S. military is clearly imposing its will domestically, stateside, as the immigration raids continue not only in Los Angeles, but really across the country. Los Angeles has been getting a great deal of attention. And who is this on the clip? I think it's Hegseth being asked about if you have the clip pulled up, Kamal.
I have it pulled up. It's a guy with a hat on saying ICE is now cooking assault rifles and pointing them at, assault rifles and pointing them at civilians.
Yes. So this is from the independent media outlet LA Taco. Shout out to LA Taco. They're doing incredible on the ground journalism, independent journalism in Los Angeles. And this is what's going on.
Look at this. ICE agents are now pulling up on civilians with assault rifles, cocking them and pointing them in their face. In this case, a couple señoras who were confronting them in this parking lot. Now, early reports look like they had arrested somebody that was delivering tortillas to one of these markets. And some of the, folks around in the area, in the shopping area, decided to confront them. And this is how they rolled up. Pulling out assault rifles, cocking them, pointing them at señoras. There was a Walmart employee in the back right there that gets hassled to the ground. You can see it in a different video. I couldn't find that video again. In what world does a police agent pull an assault rifle, cock it, and point it at civilians? This is what's going on in LA. This is assault from the federal agents.
Wait, what does he mean in what world?
Stay safe out there, LA.
Hadn't that been happening in a bunch of places?
Worse. I hope that one of these agents one day doesn't decide to use this weapon on a civilian. Now, I don't know who to give credit to on this video. I saw about 4 different.
I think people are continually in shock and in disbelief in a state of shock and disbelief they shouldn't be in had they been paying attention to the way that police
I just wanted to make sure I
constantly treated Black people. Yes, Black senoras have absolutely been drawn down upon by law enforcement, have been murdered by law enforcement. Elders have been murdered by law enforcement for doing absolutely nothing. But Los Angeles seems to be in a very heightened state, especially for the brown folks. And didn't I send another clip, Kamal? Wasn't there 2 clips in the email?
There's one where it says a senator. You want me to put that one up?
Yes, please. Because, you know, what are the Marines doing here exactly?
Okay, I'll play it now.
Uniformed military to arrest and detain protesters currently today? It's a yes or no thing. Authority.
It's sort of amusing the extent to which the speculation is out there. These troops are given very clear orders.
Then what is the order? Then list it out for us. Be a man, list it out. Did you authorize them to detain or arrest? That is a fundamental issue of democracy. I'm not trying to be a snot here. I'm just trying to get the actual, did you authorize them to do that?
All of these orders and what they're sent there to do are public. They are
okay,
there
so say it. So say it. Yes or no?
I'd like to.
Please, yes or no?
As I've said time and time again through interruption, they're there to protect law enforcement.
Do they have
ICE
the ability to arrest?
Who are trying to do their job, deporting illegals who were allowed in by the previous administration.
So they cannot arrest and detain citizens of the United States, the uniformed military.
As we've stated, if necessary, in their own self-defense, they could temporarily detain and hand over to ICE, but there's no arresting going on. And you know this better than you're trying to play political games. There's no arresting of U.S. personnel.
Of the U.S. military against members of the protest. Have you authorized U.S. military cyber tools to investigate people participating in these protests? Yes or no?
Certainly in no way that I'd be aware of.
Okay, that's good. I love that answer. That's great. Have you given the order to be able to shoot at unarmed protesters in any way? I'm just asking the question. Don't laugh. Like the whole country. And by the way, my colleagues across the aisle.
What is that based on? What evidence would you have that an order like that has ever been given?
Giving that order to your predecessor, to a Republican Secretary of Defense, who I give a lot of credit to because he didn't accept the order. He had more guts and balls than you because he said, I'm not going to send in the uniformed military to do something that I know in my gut isn't right. He was asked to shoot at their legs. He wrote that in his book. That's not hearsay. So your poo-pooing of this, it just shows you don't understand who we are as a country, who we are. And all of my colleagues across the aisle, especially the ones that served, should want an apolitical military and not want citizens to be scared of their own military. I love the military. I served alongside my whole life. So I'm worried about you tainting it. Have you given the order? Have you given the order that they can use lethal force against honor? I want the answer to be no. Please tell me it's no. Have you given the order?
Senator, I'd be careful what you read in books and believing it, except for the Bible.
Oh my God. So your former predecessor, I guess that's not enough for you. Okay.
Be a man. Where's your balls? She came at that
nigga. It's such a... and I think that for me, again, you don't want to be shocked by anything because you, like, again, as we stated earlier, none of this stuff is relatively speaking new. Like the National Guard has been called in before. I think having the active U.S. military, relatively speaking, has not happened in a very long time in this country to be on the streets in this particular way. But for somebody who, again, is the so-called Secretary of Defense, to say to only believe the Bible, for me, it's like, so again, you have this nut after nut after nut. And this is supposed to be the government that I'm supposed to be listening to or beholden to or feeling proud of. I was like, get the hell out of here. So
Christo fascism. It's crazy. Go ahead, Renee.
I just like this whole, like, what we stand for. Like, I don't even, I'm like, what is the government of?
Like, who we are as Americans.
Like, where do these people live? I don't understand. And like, not for nothing, they might not be wearing fatigues, but like police been armed by military for how many years?
Mhm.
Like, I mean, they might as well be wearing fatigues. Like, I just can't. Like, sometimes I feel like I live somewhere else. Like, I'm
like it matters to us who are being shot, whether or not we're being shot by the military, the National Guard, or the LA Police Department.
Right. And it's by the same guns. Like, can we just be real about, like, this is wild to me. Like, that whole conversation of like, please tell me this is not what you're doing. Like, what do you think has been happening? Like, what are we talking about right now? I feel like a crazy person. Like, I feel like I'm crazy right now. Like, am I the only one who's like, what are you talking about? Like,
no, because that's what's allowed for debate. Public debate is waxed in between, again, these democratic neoliberals who swear allegiance to this country, except for the fact that things are getting slightly out of hand. Again, if we go back to, if it was the LA Police Department that was doing all of this, there would be no hearings.
Nothing.
She would not be mad. The Democrats would stand down. They would talk about how these people in communities, these rioters or protesters are getting out of hand. There's, for the Democrats, there's levels of things being egregious for them. Because they are okay with what they consider to be standard neoliberal, what I would call sort of white supremacy governing, which is just don't make it overt or keep it contained within a certain way. And yes, of course, some of these are talking points and propaganda for them. But I also think the Democrats show themselves time and time again to, again, not be on the side of any kind of radical change, because her only issue with this is that this is being done by the military, by the Marines. It's not about the everyday ways in which, and again, she's already the mayor, the Black Democratic mayor of LA, has already brought out the LAPD to do the same thing and be the forward force to show the rest of the country that LA knows how to handle protesters. We don't need the military or the National Guard. We can handle this. Let us show you. And they're actually the ones pepper spraying, pushing it. Some of these videos, of course, show some of the other forces too, but the main forces that are currently stopping protests or arresting people are the LA Police Department and the different sheriff's departments down there.
That's what I was going to say. Since when did the LAPD or the LA County Sheriff's Office need Marines to protect them? Do you know how many people they kill every year? Chicago police, NYPD, like, do they need external forces to come and quote unquote protect them? They are quite capable of doing all the brutality. And to your point, like the brutalization of some of the protesters, of some of the media folks, and the outright kidnapping of people off the streets across the country. I mean, it's happened to us. Like, because the stories of police, and then I know there's different phraseology for it, but picking a brother up, taking him down to the docks, roughing him up, then dropping him off or dumping him somewhere. Like, that's a common story / trope in the Black community. And maybe they didn't do it broad daylight, or maybe they did. I don't fucking know. But like the shock and the recoiling of this behavior coming from law enforcement and from ICE agents, etc. I'm like, this isn't really new to Black Americans, and it shouldn't be new to Latino folks either. But it's now so visible, maybe with the proliferation of cell phone video. People can kind of document these instances in the moment, and that's why it's adding to the shock value. But to your point, it's not necessarily new behavior, and the Marines don't. The LAPD, LA County sheriffs do not need Marines to protect them. They are quite capable of shooting and brutalizing people all by themselves.
And you're right. It is in part, I think, because it's so like out there, but it's all intentional. Like the media deciding that they're going to make this the big story, right? So that people can look at it and be like, oh no, what is happening in LA? Right? Like, I happen to be on a lot of chats, and there's a lot happening in LA that LA turns into a war zone at a protest because of the LAPD when they show up and act wild, right? So there's a ton of people who go out and do stuff on a regular basis and nothing happens because the LAPD don't have enough people to go everywhere and create havoc. And so I think for me, a big part of my issue with all of this is like, you know, now because the media has to do this thing where they present these storylines the way they present them. Like, you know, they have to present LA as a war zone because like this is all part of the propaganda machine, right? And so I just look at it and just like, I'm just shaking my head all the time now because I'm literally like, I just don't understand how many people live in the bubble. And I always feel like I wonder sometimes, like, is the bubble just easier? Like, should I have stayed in the bubble? Because when people are like surprised at stuff, I'm like, how are you surprised at this? I don't understand. Like, I live next door to Newark, New Jersey. And, you know, they did the first raid that happened when I think ICE pulled up and they arrested like 4 or 6 people or whatever it was. And all of a sudden we were doing like, you know, we're going to do a press conference and people are like crying at the podium and all this stuff. And so I looked it up and I'm like, 30,000 people got detained by ICE in Newark during Biden's administration. Where the fuck were y'all then? Like, where was the podium and the you know, like the news conference? Like Elizabeth, the ICE detention center in Elizabeth, there's a report written about it in like 2017 about how poorly the people were treated. Where the fuck were y'all then? Like, I just don't this drives me crazy. Like this whole, like this fantasy that like, oh my God, things are bad because they want you to pay attention to this specific thing that's happening right now. Shit's always been bad. Like, shit's always been wild. Like, the police have been militarized for well over a decade, going on 2 decades. Like, can we not? Like, not that y'all are doing that. I'm just like, generally, like, can we just not?
Renee, what is the story? And I didn't pursue it, my bad. But was there an uprising at one of the detention centers in northern New Jersey?
There was. So Delaney Hall, which was announced in like February and opened its quote unquote doors in May, has not been feeding the people that it's holding hostage. And so people got pissed off. And it turns out that the building was not like actually equipped to keep people in. And so they pushed the wall down and people dipped. They literally knocked down a wall. They knocked down a wall and they bounced. And so, you know, free them all. And, you know, unfortunately, I think at last count, 4 people actually got away, like actually got away. 3 have since been, you know, recaptured. And there's a 4th that I have not seen whether or not the 4th has been caught, but yeah.
All right. You know, find the structural weaknesses and do with that what you will.
Yeah. So the best was, as this was happening and the folks inside were rebelling about the treatment and the lack of food and what was going on, the families who it's already limited. So the facility houses, I think, up to 1,200 people. And there's a limit of like 24 families that are allowed to come in at any time. And so once this started happening on the inside, they were blocking families from going in. And so the families did their call outs, Cosecha and NJIJC, like all these coalitions, to say like, they're not letting people in. So people started coming to Delaney, and then they blocked the entrance to Delaney because it was basically like, if we can't go in and out, neither can you, motherfuckers. And so they built a barricade. And nobody could go in or out for hours. Like they had the road blocked up because the FBI was trying to get in. They were blocked. They couldn't go in. It was great. It was great to watch. I'm not even gonna lie. It was fun. It was fun. I mean, eventually it got violent, of course, as you know, as they do here. And they broke the blockade, but it was for a little while. That group of people, and it was not like it wasn't hundreds of people. I think it was like 2 or 3 dozen people, and they built a barricade, and you could not go in or go out.
You shall not pass.
What we got, Kamal?
Oh, just really quickly. So Black Agenda Report put up a statement by Community Movement Builders, our Newark chapter. Some of our folks were on the ground. And they stated on Thursday, June 12, 50 kidnapped immigrants revolted against their inhumane conditions at Delaney Hall, a private detention facility operated by GEO Group in Newark. By the time the tear gas settled, captives had torn down the wall, family visitation was canceled, and protesters mobilized to interrupt facility operations from the outside. At least 4 captives successfully liberated themselves from their unjust detention. At the time of this writing, the actions of those inside, supported by solidarity actions on the outside, have increased the urgency in calls to shut down Delaney Hall. It says that Delaney Hall has been the site of heightened political activity since the announcement of its reopening at the end of February 2025, recognizing the assault on so-called immigrants as both a Black political issue and an expression of classical fascist strategy. Those inside Delaney Hall report that meals were not being served on time and that in some cases were skipped entirely. Additionally, ICE put strict limits on visitation hours and the number of people who can visit, allowing only 15 to 20 people during visitation for a facility with a maximum of 1,200 captives. Is an extension of the abuse and torture inflicted upon those inside. Furthermore, they often find any possible reason to turn families away, such as attire. So that's just a little bit of the inside story and the statement that we wrote to CMB Newark.
Right on.
I also wanted to highlight, so because of this discussion, a point. So William in our chat made this point. Why would people who don't believe in radical change, I assume he's talking about the senator and or person, the House of Representative person that was speaking in the video, advocate for radical change? This critique is quite tired at this point. They are liberals. Yes. And so, William, to be clear, obviously we know they're liberals. The point is not that there's an expectation that they will do certain things. The point is to point out that they will not do certain things and that they do it within a certain framework, which they themselves are trying to make be the liberal edge of reasonable thought. So the point is not that you expect them to do anything other than what they're doing. But part of a reason for a show or station like this is to show that the liberal edge is not obviously the radical edge, because most people don't recognize what you are suggesting or what you're saying directly, that these folks are liberals, and so therefore they don't hold our interests. A lot of people, and I guess in our major concern, our larger Black community still believes that it is the Democrats who are the cutting edge of thinking and opposition. Thank you so much. Yeah, opposition to what's happening, and that we should go back and follow them, as opposed to moving beyond them. And if you don't continually point that out, that message can get lost. And sense hope, and one of the other hopes is that people will clip this and show this, so that the people who are somewhat confused about the role of Democrats and liberals in a system of hegemony that operates the way the United States operates, will see that, or will have this new information that they would not have otherwise. So hopefully you get that yourself, and will, as opposed to critiquing the critique, we'll share the critique with people who do not already think that, so that we can have more people on our side of the struggle.
Young William was in the chat talking about his DNC checks clear, and so I don't know if he, whoever they are. For a second, not be
banning Young William either.
No, I'm not. I wasn't.
We have over active hand sometimes that will ban people for
I don't think people should be banned out of the chat for critique, maybe outright disrespect.
Yeah. No, and it's fine to critique, but I get this a lot for Saturdays, right? That all we do is talk about like Democrats, whatever people's complaints are. And I always want to point out to people, like, one of the things that I really strive to do is to just get people to understand what propaganda looks like, right? And so part of, in my mind, this work is like, look at this, think about what they're trying to make you see, but then understand what you should really be seeing. And you can't engage in that type of education without like showing what's actually happening, right? Like there's no way around it. And so I just, I'm not, and this wasn't at all really I don't know that William's going to go anywhere and show the clip somewhere was really what my point was. But,
but we can't get gassed up when the white lady Democrat tells Hegseth that he doesn't have the balls. Like, we can't get gassed up when Jasmine Crockett gets all sassy with Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's not moving the needle. That's not moving the ball down the field as it pertains to us and our issues. But there are so many of our folks, Black folks in this country, that are still captured by the Democrats and by the liberals, and they are counting the days down to the midterms, to 2028. Westmore, all these motherfuckers, like they get our people still get excited about the wrong shit, and they are looking in the wrong directions for leadership and even strategy as it pertains. How are we going to move ourselves out of our current condition into something better? And the Democrats are not going to be the ones to take us there, but there are lots of us Black people that think that. That's why that point keeps getting hammered home on his platform. Now I'm glad William is in the advanced placement portion of the whatever the fuck, but nigga, not everybody ain't there. You point home continuously here because we assume that hopefully we continue to get new viewers. We assume that new people are coming to us who don't have the level of consciousness and scholarship that some of our hosts and presenters do have. So William, if this is the slow class for you, the nigga kick fucking rocks, dog. Like beat it, go somewhere else. If you know all the answers, beat it. Then go take your answers and apply it to real life. But there are other people here that are still trying to get.
But William's still a Democrat, so which makes me think like, for all the talk, like you clearly are propagandized. Like, you obviously still think the Democrats are going to do something. Like, to me, all of this work is to just slowly push people back to Democrats so that they can attempt to do something next year, and then in another 2 years we'll be back to talking about the lesser evil, and like it's all the same rigmarole.
I love it, Kim. You said it. I say certain things on this platform, and it's like, we heard this, blah, 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 blah. Listen, people coming here, they ain't heard it before. So,
yeah.
Come in and say that.
Anyway. You're blurry again, B.
I'm blurry. Oh, I got to get out of here.
No, don't go. You got to do a break. You're not that blurry. You're just a little bit.
I mean, y'all ain't tell me before, and everybody in the chat room's like, you're blurry, you echoing, and y'all ain't saying a damn thing.
Oh, yeah, the echo. But I couldn't say, that was when you were doing your break thing. I can't jump in when that's actually happening. Oh.
And the echo wasn't you. The echo was the actual interview.
Yeah.
Okay. Y'all really?
I sent her a microphone. What's wrong with her?
Who?
Andy.
I think it was Jess's.
Oh, my bad. I'm not sending her a microphone.
Yeah, Ear Doctor, sometimes when you play clips, it comes through like double sound. So
okay, gotcha. Yeah. So I just need to pull this.
You would think after 4 years you would have figured that out.
But he didn't. He doesn't sound like that on his end. That's why he didn't catch it.
But still, after 4 years.
After 4 years. We've told him this before.
Do you want to? Do y'all want to do a break, or y'all want to just keep going? We only got 15 minutes left.
I love Ear Doctor breaks. Please.
I love Ear Doctor breaks.
All right, here we go. I give y'all a little something. Right here on, y'all know what it is. Stop acting like y'all don't. Remix more. I be stroking. That's what I be doing. You know me. Hey, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare, and yes, donate at blkliberationmedia.org. Hey, show some love. Get you a nice fit, a nice outfit or something like that. Yo, so you heard it in the background. He be stroking. Who am I talking about? We talk about Clarence Carter. Clarence Carter. All right, let me put you on to Clarence Carter real quick. Clarence Carter, coming out of a place where I used to stay, Montgomery, Alabama. That's right. He was actually born blind in 1936. He got songs like Slip Away, Backdoor Santa, and Stroking. That's right. So he had a time, he came in with his homeboy and they started the CNC Boys. They did some singles, but they ain't really chart. They ain't really go too far. So what his partner he was with got into a car accident, so that caused him to go solo. So just like some of these great rappers, they like Salt and Pepper came and did a song coming at Ricky D and Dougie Fresh. So did Clarence Carter, because Etta James had a song called Tell Mama, and so your boy had a song called Tell Daddy. So boom, that put him on the map a little bit. People was like, okay, who this dude right here? So boom, and after that he put out Slip Away and some other joints that came and actually got some traction. But then the disco era came and that kind of knocked him off for a minute. But then he came back in the 80s and said, word, let me come back with Stroking. Stroking came and then put him back on the map and was used in the Nutty Professor in Eddie Murphy's movie. And you can also hear that sample from Backdoor Santa used in Christmas in Hollis from Run DMC. So just wanted to put you on. He got about 13, 14, 15 albums or so. You might want to go check out. A lot of his songs deal with being raunchy, deal with making love, and deal with sexual things. So yeah, big up to Clarence Carter. With that said, let's get back to it, because not only he will we be stroking right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Now, when I start making love to my woman, I don't stop until I know she knows.
I gotta thank Kim for getting me to do that one right there.
I will admit, I do not know Clarence Carter that well at all.
You still don't know him very well.
After
And Doctor didn't even mention that the reason that he talked about Clarence Carter is because he has died. He transitioned. He is no longer with us.
Wait a minute. When this happened?
Lord have mercy.
He's 89 years old. He's not dead.
He just died not that long ago.
You sure? I don't see it. Now you hear this shit?
I know, now she's backing off. Wait a minute. Is he dead or not?
I think he's dead.
Oh, he's not dead.
That's still a little what's
Boy,
wrong with
Kim coming up here with
I think he's alive.
I think he has recently transitioned.
No, well, according to his Wikipedia page, he's not dead.
Okay, well, I'm not sure. I apologize to Clarence Carter for trying to kill him.
What about apologizing to me? I
know you have to apologize to the air. You just.
I'm also not apologizing to the Air Doctor because he did not play Backdoor Santa. You got to play Backdoor Santa.
What is was that a real song? Backdoor Santa.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because as soon as
the one problem I realize about women.
Okay. You Air Doctor.
Yes.
Before you say the next words, really be careful and think this out.
Seriously, think it out. And remember who you're going to have to text next time you need something, and be sure about what you say before you
remember
say
you have 11 minutes left to be dragged to tremendous. Look at Kim. She's licking her lips.
Listen, the chat, we got thumb thugs on deck. Okay,
fuck them, man.
Okay.
It's accountability. God damn it! Now you could apologize knowing the fact that you did not know what you was talking about, and you just decided not to. But
I apologize.
I'm used to it.
I make a different decision. I make a different decision. I rescind my critique and my criticism. So my deepest apologies to the Air Doctor. for being wrong.
I take back what I
was about to try to say. Yeah, good.
Already said it.
You don't need to hear it. You don't need to hear it. Keep it all in. Keep it stuff it deep inside.
See, and let this be a lesson. So I'm receiving misinformation. Somebody told me Clarence Carter died, and that's why and here my dumb ass go repeating it. So my bad.
Oh, it's all good. That's what we're here for, to do the research. I just bring up the different people to talk about, and y'all do your research. Don't come to me.
So anyway, what is it? Backdoor Santa?
Backdoor Santa. They use that on Hollis and Quit.
Play it, Air Doc. Why don't you play it? Play it, Black.
You got it, Air Doc? I need to do a couple of seconds.
Because as soon as you hear the record, as soon as you hear Clarence Carter's record, I mean, it is.
Oh yeah.
It's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken and collard greens. Yeah.
Okay.
But see, a lot of people don't even know that's a sample, and they don't know where it comes from. So that is from Clarence Carter. By the way, I mean, you guys noticed, it was Clarence Carter, we had Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder, like you had these disabled musicians all out at the same time. Do you see any disabled musicians in the 21st century? Wouldn't rationality make you think that in the 50s, 60s, 70s, it would have been harder for someone, especially who was visually impaired or blind, to make it in the music industry? Wouldn't you think it might be a little simpler now with technology and the like? Why? How come we don't see, just food for thought?
No, I think it's because of the video age, or the medium of, like, you have to again look a certain way, be able to do a certain thing, and I think all of that is meant to Dave, like, literally, someone who has talent, but they may look different or whatever, or be different, that they won't get platformed.
They gave Lizzo a chance.
Whoa, what's Lizzo's disability?
Ear doctor, please don't.
No, he was talking about a certain look. I didn't say nothing about disability. You said a certain look.
Well, that's true. You know what? There's truth in that too. There's truth in that too.
Why y'all be coming at me?
It sounded awkward. It sounded awkward. It did sound awkward. We're literally talking about disabilities, but you're right. The way I said it, I did stretch it out to mean people like singers now have to have abs and chest out and all that kind of stuff. Like those are the singers who are platformed because they have certain looks. So I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt.
Thank you. Lizzo is a true talent. She's good. Like I was like,
I know, but I've seen large Black women have successful careers. You understand, in the 20th century, and Lizzo is a good example for the 21st century.
But not a lot.
I don't see. Okay, but I see zero disabled artists. You understand? As opposed to Stevie Ray, Clarence Carter. And by the way, blind Ray Charles, blind Stevie Wonder could do things that many sighted musicians and artists could never do. You understand? So it's not obviously, we know it's not just about talent. And I'll take your point that it does have a lot to do with marketability and this, that, and the third. But again, Stevie and Ray and Clarence Carter would sell out the jam, baby. It's not like they had to beg people to come see Ray Charles. Hell no.
I think there's a case to be made that Stevie Wonder is the greatest artist of all time.
All time.
All time. All time. I agree with that.
There's a case to be made there.
Because even when you're talking about being able to talk about different things, different having some content in your music, talking about I'm too high, and I can't touch the ground. Like that right there, talking about that for the weed heads, talking about
bad Stevie. That wasn't a bad Stevie.
I mean, I'll be doing it. But just all the different topics he's able to hit from a child all the way to now. His
writing ability, his playing his instruments, his production. That is way. And did y'all see that bad little documentary on how they made We Are the World, where he had to sit down with what's old boy Bob Dylan?
Bob Dylan.
Yeah, he had the white boy Bob Dylan and basically teach him how to sing the song in Bob Dylan's own voice. He basically mimicked, he said, do it like this, Bob, and basically mimicked Bob to tell him how to do it. Bob, like literally, he's asking Stevie for that help too. You know what I mean? That's it's a great little moment in terms of like someone who's such a out of this world musical artist, and someone who's perfected their craft to the point of they can sit down with someone who's considered to be this great songwriter and so forth, particularly by the white world. Although I do like Bob, but Bob Dylan gets far more accolades in the larger world because of the white Western control of media than a Stevie Wonder, which is completely undeserved. Bob Dylan, they made what movie you seen about Stevie? They made movies, books, accolades, all that is all Bob Dylan centered, or people like Bob Dylan centered, as opposed to somebody like a Stevie Wonder, who in any true sense of if the world was fair or honest, Stevie Wonder would there'd be statues about this dude, at least in terms of the musical talent that he has and is portrayed in the songs that he's written and stuff like that. So
where is Stevie's multi-$100 million deal for his catalog? Or maybe he has a different arrangement, but those stories were coming out in recent years, Springsteen, $240 million. Who else got a big fucking deal to sell their, publishing rights or whatever? I haven't heard that for any Black artists. And join me in the Ear Doctor at 11 for Classical Breakdown about Sly Stone, because as I was going through Sly Stone's catalog and understanding how much his music had been sampled, and the fact that this man died damn near, with no money, like that shit, it broke my heart and it pissed me off, because I'm like, I'm listening to $1 billion catalog here. How was this man sleeping in a camper?
Yeah, him and DeBarge, they was looking crazy. That's wild.
DeBarge? What happened to DeBarge? Which one?
Yeah, they was like sleeping on the side in the trailer in the side of by a river or something like that. I was like,
but which one? Not the one that sung lead. One of the backup singers, right?
I think. Well,
DeBarge is kind of not that expensive. They do need real jobs at the stage.
One of the brothers.
Yeah,
I think L is doing all right. I think he still performs.
Yeah,
he still does. I actually saw a reel of him singing. I was like, what? You still do that? All right.
Those lower level DeBarges, I mean, they probably they need jobs.
Yeah. Like, what is Bunny doing right now?
I know, what is Bunny doing? Bunny needs
probably working at
Chick-fil-A. I don't know what she's doing.
I wonder if Chico started selling crack again. When Chico was the one that got locked up for selling coke, right?
Because he was like, "What? I'm not the lead singer, and my brother's not taking care of me. I've got a lifestyle to maintain."
Damn, we need to do documentaries on the backups.
Ooh, can you imagine a DeBarge documentary, like the light-skinned gangsters? And my man is selling weed. I mean, selling crack or whatever.
I think he was selling coke, the cocaine. But the unsung that they did about the DeBarge kids had it rough growing up. They had a very difficult childhood.
They did?
Yeah, they did. They did. I mean, like fucked up childhood, like real fucked up. Yeah.
I just wonder, what is Marlon doing right now? Marlon Jackson, like.
Is it Marlon? Who is Marlon? I think is managing, or maybe another one. One of them is managing Janet.
They need to be doing something, because he never had a lead on the song or nothing. I don't know if but
he's not taking care of in the family.
He gonna be all right.
The Jack. Yeah, I mean the Jack. At the only. I was gonna say the only one thing is that they took care of each other, even as they kind of extended the racial barriers of their family, and all that money is going to the two white kids that Michael
Blanket in Paris.
Yeah, the two white kids that have no relation whatsoever to the Jacksons are getting the lion's share of the Jackson wealth. That's how wild.
Paris Jackson, she opened. I went to a rock show a couple years ago, and she was one of the opening acts. I mean, I didn't see her, but she was on the lineup, and I'm like, what is she doing? Paris Jackson, huh?
Wow. And did she act? You said you didn't get there in time to see her.
Hell no, I wasn't checking. I was there for the.
I know root work is coming, so we got to roll.
I was just look at Renee on the time. I like it. See, I fucks with Renee. Listen, I might have said that about accountability, but I can count on Renee. She's good. All right, so we got a show at 11. We talked about that classical breakdown. Kim, when's Burn It Down with Kim Brown coming? The next one.
Friday. You can join me Friday, 7 p.m. Thanks to everybody that come in, tune in, smoke up, chill out. So join me. Go subscribe to Burn It Down with Kim Brown, please, and thank you.
All right, and Saturdays, what's going on?
We got Dwayne Monroe coming on. He is a tech expert, AI. So. That's Saturday. and Tume will be on with us, so it'll be a good one.
Ask them why Pepco charging me for data centers in Virginia.
It's on my list, Kim. It's on my list.
I'm so pissed off about that. I'm very mad. But anyway.
And hopefully we'll get a whole full week of Kamal next week on the Remix Morning Show. And we're out of here because he's nothing he got to say, I guess.
Kamal,
all right.
What you got to say?
Goodbye.
Exactly. There we go. I mean, I try to help him out. All right, the Remix Morning Show. Clock us back at 8 o'clock in the morning. We out, y'all. Peace.
Peace, y'all.